the final speech, public speaking today, is actually going to be an inspirational speech. It's going to be an inspirational speech. As usual, the participants have to be relevant in terms of being adequately inspirational. So we should feel uplifted and adequately inspired following our listening to them. As usual, we do encourage the participants, and I hope all participants are currently listening. We do, as usual, expect you to also give us speech value. We do encourage that you give us speech value, and we also do encourage you to the extent you can, because sometimes this is a metric, to the extent that you can, to please be relevant to the theme of the event. Number one, try and teach us something. Number two, try and change our mind, our perspective, or our attitude. And of course, number three, call us to action. And especially with inspirational, it becomes very important to call us to action. What do I mean by that? I mean tell us to start doing something, tell us to stop doing something, and tell us to continue to do a particular thing. Now, that just forms the bulk of our brief. I will now give you the topic that we have. The best place to find a helping hand. The best place to find a helping hand.
So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we have 8 individuals proceeding to public speaking finals. 6 individuals, proceeding to public speaking finals after a very rigorous competition from Thursday all the way to this afternoon. As they face each other at the finals, mine is to wish them all the best, and may the best speaker win. Sinamna hiyo? At this particular time, I want to welcome CUP Public Speaking to take over and introduce the speakers and the judges so that we get going.
All right, so all the judges are seated and they're ready. So I'll just read out the speakers one last time for those of you who might not have heard. They'll be walking in one by one as they give us their speech and take their seat. We have Massive Gutsa, we have Sydney Getao, we have Anita Sophia, we have Martin Javan, we have Dennis Mwendwa, and of course, Daisy Itago. And our judges for this round, I'll just ask them to wave as I call them. On our timing is Purity Kamau. Just stand and wave so that they can see you. Purity Kamau is on our timing. And we have Deborah Simba. We have Destiny Fairley. We have Crystal Omonde. We have Stephanie Anguka. And we also have Innocent Solite. So that's our very able panel. And I will now, at this juncture, I'll welcome the first speaker, who will start in about 2 minutes. But I'll welcome to the stage Massive Gutsa. Migaha.
Yes, thank you. My name is Massive Gutsa. I've not started. My name is Massive Gutsa, and I'm pleasured to be in the finals for KUDC. I was equally in the finals last year. Lost to Javan. Hopefully this time I'll beat him. Aside from that, shout out to myself for making it to finals. I think that's very fun. Also, I am an EADC champion, judges. But anyway, I know that doesn't factor in, but just had to say that. I start my speech in 3, 2, 1. I don't belong here. Every single time I have woken up ever since that fateful day, I still remember these words to the latter. I don't belong here. This has never been my city, and ever since that moment, I still recall it very vividly, and I still want to tell you that I don't belong here. It has been difficult. I'm still shaking from that night. I'm still shaking from the moment when I remember every single detail that happened to allow me to stand before you right now with a group of audience watching me, waiting for me to tell you something so philosophical and something so beautiful as to why change is important for you to embrace. I was just merely 10 years old. I know I should have grown up by now, considering I'm 29. I should have forgotten this memory as if it's something long beforehand that happened, but I still remember it very vividly beyond my human imagination. They took me at night. When I was just playing outside with my friends, they took me and they decided to do the very inhumane thing that I thought was the worst thing to ever happen to me. Defiled me through and through. Just a 10-year-old girl. Because to them, I'm just nothing but a woman. I'm just nothing but a tool that needs to be seen and never to be heard. So they thought that they could take it away from me, and they did. It's still recounted in my mind up until this moment, and I have lived to know it. And at that instance, I kept on asking myself, how can I get out of this? How can this just end and for me to be better? And it did end, but to my detriment. So the question is, what did I do after that? You're expecting me to tell you I started $1 billion company, I changed the world, and I decided no other woman would suffer the consequences that I went through. You expect me to stand here and tell you that from that moment I changed and I became the very best person that you could ever think or imagine. That's how you think the story goes, right? But not in this case. I suffered depression like no human being could ever account for. I kept on sitting at the dark corner of my room, unable to go to school, unable to study, unable to be the very best version of myself that my parents kept on telling me I could be. Just because the man decided he was more important than I. And I wonder what's left for Africa. If those are the kind of people that continue to surround us day in and day out. So yes, you're welcome to my launch party, where I'm going to launch an app for you, and you think it's something very beautiful, but it's just a dating app. But a dating app that I think will save women from a lot of troubles that happen throughout society. Where women get the liberty to choose who they date, who they see, and who they actually want to go with wherever they're going. Because men have had the power for the longest time. It's about time we change that, don't you think? So here's what's going to happen, ladies. To the men in the room, I really hope you don't feel offended. Here's what's going to happen, ladies. We're going to take matters in our own hands, and we're going to make sure that we are the drivers of Africa's future and Africa's change through technology. But the technology we are using is not something sophisticated like using artificial intelligence. No, the technology we're leveraging is just a dating app where you feel safe, where you choose for yourself, and where whatever happened to me can never happen to another woman. I got myself out of depression, and it took everything within me to get out of it, but I did. I sought help. I stopped sitting in the corner of my room, and I finally realized that embracing change is important. Men will still defile you, and men will still exist to be the worst perpetrators of harm. The only question then becomes, what do you do about it? Do you finally take charge and make the decisions for yourself? Or do you keep allowing men to make these choices for you? I chose to stand for myself. I chose to create something that people can use to protect themselves, to leverage something that I know will change society and change the world, that a woman will never ever leave with the level of depression that I did. Now I hope you get to do the same. I hope as you sit on that seat, you will choose to download this application and tell your daughters and tell your friends that are female in this world that there's something safer out there for us to use. Maybe to find our perfect match, but for sure to feel safer in a world plagued by people who want nothing from us but that.
It was 5 days. No, sorry, 6 days until I had a drop of water. It was 6 days until the last time I saw help. My name is Mark Wayne, and I am a retired rock climbing expert. I can tell you the story of those 6 days. I can tell you the story of those 6 nights. Hanging on to dear life. The poster of a cat that says, hang on, keep hanging on. That was nearly my life. Hanging on between a cliff. A rope was all I had. My hands clenching, shaking, blood pouring out of every nail, but yet I still had to clench on. Because I wasn't just clenching onto a cliff, a rock side, no. I was clenching onto my life. And those 6 days is the reason why I can stand before you and say, in those 6 nights, I discovered help wasn't coming. I looked down, no safety net. I looked up, no rescue chopper. Help wasn't coming. I knew that was my life. And in those 6 days, that's when I truly discovered that if you truly seek help, it won't come from anywhere else apart from the end of your arm. My son is a public speaker. 4 years in the making in high school. 4 years he competed. 4 years he tried. But in 4 years he failed. In 4 years he never won. In 4 years he never succeeded. Not once ever did he win. But he still clinged on. He still clinged on to what he believes. I clinged on to my life that day. He clinged on to his passion. What will you cling on to? Will you fall? Will you give up? What will you cling on to? Our hands can do immeasurable things. They can write. They can draw. They can heal. They can pray. Our hands can do amazing things. What will you do with yours? Because that cliff is not that cliff for me. For you, it might be lack of job. For you, it might be not achieving your goals or your dreams. For you, it might be surrendering. But will you cling on? I hold hope. I held my life. And my son did the same. 4 years, no tournament. 4 years, no winning. And after 4 years of hanging on to his passion, to his belief, he finally made it. Have you ever asked yourself, why is it that the longer we hold something, the more we forget it's in our hands? The longer I hold on to my life, the more I realize it's not mine to have. The longer I hold on to my hopes and beliefs, the more I feel them slipping away. But we must never give up. We must never stop trying. Clench your fist, even if it kills you. Clench your fist, because holding on does not mean holding on to a cliff. Holding on does not mean holding off to passions. Holding on means not giving up. What will you hold on in life? When your time is up, what will they say? When your time is up, what will they say? Did you hold on? Did you cling to life? Or did you let it slip away? In our day age, we find that help, rescue, it's easy to come by. You look around, you wait for somebody to notice your problems. You wait for somebody to notice your pain. And once they do, that's when you start reaching out. Why couldn't you reach out to your hopes? Why couldn't you reach out to your future and hang on to them? But the moment somebody offers you a helping hand, the moment somebody tries and give you a hand to hold, that's the moment you decide to reach out. So don't reach out for anyone's hand, but clench onto your own, in your own arm. Thank you.
Safiri salama, salimu Maulana, tutaonana baadaye. My people, rest in peace again to all of our fallen brothers and sisters. How many of you are tired of just burying your dead all the time? I wonder what God is playing this sick joke on Africa, that we should face calamity after calamity. First colonization, then climate change, and now this. The biggest Ebola outbreak the world has ever seen. I myself have buried all 9 of my children, and even my husband has departed from me. What did we do to deserve all of this? You wonder how many of us have to die for them to finally see us as human. You know, they used to come here, all smiles, shaking our hands, as they write up the best deals to take our oil, to take our trees, to take our finest, brightest minds and ship them abroad. And now where are they? China friend for Kenya, where is the friend? They've all closed their doors on us, deciding that they don't want to risk the chance of an outbreak reaching to their precious countries. It's our problem. It started here, probably because we're monkeys. Why should they help us? I can see the anger in your eyes. I can see the pain you're hiding in your heart. I can see you there wiping your tears. Now that everybody has turned their backs on us, I'm tired of wearing these sick PPEs. I won't even look at them anymore. But does that mean that we'll just give up? Now that we've buried all our young, especially here in the heart of DRC, where it all started, when we went from 5 million to now a mere 500,000, at least last week, who knows how many we are now. Does that mean that we'll just give up, lie down, let the Ebola take the last of us until there is nobody left in what used to be a vibrant country? Of course not. Even now, even when we have nothing left, we're not going to give up. My friends, the time has come. The time has come. We're no longer going to keep sending our delegates out there to knock at their doors and see if they'll give us some PPEs or some vaccines. The time has come for us to look inwards. Before these white people came with their pellets and their vaccines and their syringes, we used to give ourselves medicine here in this fine land. Do you know why they keep coming here? Do you know why they keep coming to Africa? To sign off our youth and take them abroad. It's because they know that we are sharp. Seated here, we can innovate our own cures. We can innovate our own cures for this terrible calamity. Do you know why they keep trying to take our resources? It's because here beneath our feet lies the elixir of life. Here beneath our feet, here in our forests, lies the cure to all the diseases that could possibly have come to man. I mean, life started in Africa. The historian said it, not me. So why do we feel like we have to go out there? Why do we feel like if they don't help us, there's simply nothing that we can do? Why have we become so despondent? I'm telling you today is the day we stop going out there. Today is the day we look within ourselves. Today is the day we go back to our own laboratories. And if they're not there anymore, we're going to go and build them right now. And if we don't know what to do in those laboratories, we'll go to our libraries and we'll figure out how we're going to heal ourselves. All the grandmas sitting back there, you think they used to use these syringes when they were younger? Of course not. The time has come, my people. We will not despair. Because even before they came to help us, even before they came up with their cars and they had their planes and they sent the space cars to the space, we were here in Africa, happily living, before they put a name to this terrible calamity and called it Ebola. Perhaps it was as common as a common cold. And when they came with colonization, perhaps they went with a cure. But now, we are going to help ourselves. Because sometimes, the best place to find a helping hand is just here at the end of your arm. Thank you.
Asanteni sana. Before I start my speech, this is going to be my attempt at defending my title for the third time. If we lock it down and we defend, it's nice. If we don't, I'm just happy to have gotten this far. I'm happy to continue contributing to the public speaking space. It has done so much for me. It has allowed me to grow so much, both as a speaker and as an individual. And so I hope each and every speaker that is in the room gets to enjoy that same privilege. So this speech is probably going to be my retirement speech. But yeah, well, it is what it is. So this goes out to all speakers all over the world, whether competitively or not. As long as you're inspiring someone out there, this speech is yours. So I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. Who will save the drugs from the youth? Because the way you guys are abusing drugs in this country. Now, imagine how crazy it has gotten to a point where, right now, you think you're having a conversation with a bottle of alcohol. But since we're here, come, sit, let's have that chat. So, you are paid to go and cause chaos during the protests. But you decided, let me just keep that money in my pocket and then go and buy liquor. So here we are at the liquor store. And me and you are having this chat. Why are we here? Why are we having this conversation? Why is it that every time that you have problems, your solution is always to come and find me? Why is it that every time your heart gets broken? I told you, these Nairobi women, these snakes, they will break your heart. They will show you dust. You see. But you don't listen. Why is it that because you don't have money, because you don't have a job, every little money that you get, you just want to drink and forget that you're suffering? 5 men on average, every day, die because of suicide. Quadruple that number, and you will find out just the right number of men that are suffering because of depression and anxiety. You think the world is difficult for you. You think you're having problems. Imagine you're breathing, you're walking. Just because they quote-unquote called you a goon doesn't mean that you're worthless. There are people who are resting on beds and don't have money to pay for those hospital bills. There are people without a leg. You have both arms, you have both legs, but you choose to use your lips, you choose to use your mouth, your body, in ways that do not serve a proper purpose. Now, don't get me wrong, I have no problem being here. I have no problem being drunk. I mean, that's the purpose I was made for, to make you forget. However, it's only a momentary pause. Once you wake up tomorrow, now you have twice the problems, because you have a hangover, and then you have your problems still there. I think it's time we shift our perspective. I think it's time that we do something different. I think it's time we find better solutions. Because clearly, your leaders are not going to help you. You got paid to go and beat up people, to steal from them, to rape women in your own country. Your leaders are not going to help you. If those are the people that you expect to uplift you, serikali saidia, government help me. I think it's time that you realize those people are only there for themselves. Someone said the best place to find a helping hand is at the end of your own arm. And so this moment, right here, this is your defining moment. This evening, as we have this chat between me and you, make a decision to be better. You want better leaders? Go and vote for better leaders. You want a better economy? Vote for economically educated leaders. You want a job? Go out there and find one. But hey, if you're back here tomorrow, I'll still be here. We can still have another chat. I have no problem. But the question is, once you wake up tomorrow, how do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about the situation that you're in? Maybe it's time that you put down the liquor, you put down the numbing, and you start thinking.
I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1, now. Being a Pan-African, it's not easy. It's a bit of a labor of love. It's difficult to love your continent when all you can do is watch it run headlong into all kinds of dangers. Neocolonialism, war, poverty, corruption. It's hard to love a continent when you feel like everything is against you for as long as you belong to it. So what do you do when you feel like that? I'm not just saying that, I'm genuinely asking, what do you do? What do you do? Have you actually thought about it? I have an answer. You get angry. I mean, cautious, but angry. Fervent in your anger. Hatefully angry. Hateful of the systems that have kept you in such a state. Hateful of the IMF loans that have kept you in poverty. Hateful of the people that have continuously exploited us. Hateful and angry at the leaders that have kept us in such a state. But not just angry, but fervently and Africanly angry. When you're an African, you have to be pragmatic. Everything is against you. That means you have to be thoughtful in your anger. You have to be careful. If you're just angry, you're in prison. If you're angry and careful, you're a great man. How do we get angry as Africans today? We get angry by putting it into our work, ensuring that we stay out of the systems that have kept us in place, ensuring that the policies that are passed by the people in power only serve us. A cautious anger is one that embraces an understanding of our place in society, of what we need, of what we must become. When you go out into your work, into your school, when you're studying, when you're working, when you're walking around, when you're thinking, when you're speaking to other people, you must be angry at these systems. You must be careful as well. Now look. When I say black, you say power. Black! Power. Black! Power. There's not enough black people in this place. When I say black, you say power. Black! Power. Black! Power. It's time for a revolution. A revolution that is careful, that understands the traps of the white man, that understands the traps of the people that live across the sea. Help is not coming from across the sea. Help will come from this place, this land we stand on. Help is not coming from foreign lands. Angels do not live there. God does not reside across the sea. Only the devils that exploited us live across the sea. An Africa that is true to itself, that understands what it needs, that understands what its future is one where, when students study, they understand that they're studying to revolt against systems of world extraction that have kept Africa poor. When an African man works, when an African woman works, he works to ensure that those systems must be eradicated everywhere, from their places of work, from their places of study, from wherever they walk, from their minds. They must not think like slaves. They must think, walk, and work like liberated men. That is how Africa liberates itself. Help, a true helping hand, one that you know will never leave you, does not come from another. It will never come from across the sea. It will always be at the end of your arm. It will always come from within, by your own effort, by your own work, by our own effort, our own smarts, our own work, our own understanding of our worth as Africans, as black people. Black! 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 Thank you.
Hello. I begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, sing with me. I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you didn't expect the devil to look this good. So let me take this opportunity to welcome you to hell. And oh, do you know what this lighter is going to do at the end of this? Burn your intestines. Oh, and I'm so sorry I'm not as scary as you expected me to be. But here is one thing I want to remind you today. You came here for one particular reason, that you didn't achieve the mission that God sent you to this world. And why didn't you achieve this? You see, there is an African proverb that says, the only help you need is at the end of your arm. And I am privileged to have this opportunity to burn one of the greatest people that have ever existed since the world began. You know who it is? You Africans. And this is what you always forgot. I can tell you again, I did not burn your dreams. I only whispered the thought that it can be done by someone else. And do you know why God sent you to this world? It's so that you finish the mission that he sent you to do. Not to borrow inventions from what others did years ago. It's to build what he made you do at your time. But what did you do? You borrowed from the past and tried to use it. Endless scrolling. Oh, it can be done. ChatGPT will do it anyway. So, welcome. I am now teaching you what you should have done. But you know what? It is not the end. Because I'm here to inspire you that as I take you back on earth, I have had mercy on you enough. But after burning you just a little bit, here is the thing. When there was drought in Kitui County, and everyone else was queuing for aid, international aid. But here is what Mama Ochieng did. She used a small drip can and solar energy. And this energy was used to build a small agricultural farm. And this is how the whole community got fed. And when I saw her use coding to connect the whole of Kenya into agricultural trading, that was impressive. But you know what? It ruined me, because my aim is to switch off the light that you burn. And this is what she did. That's why Mama Ochieng is not here with you. That is what each and every one of you should do. You keep complaining. I see innovators here. I see strong future. What a future could have been amazing in each and every one of you if you had still stayed on earth. I see innovators. And as I come here, I remember when I was shown a human being, especially an African. You see these hands? These fingertips are the fingertips of change. And these lines on your arms are what could code the future. So what are you doing with your hands? These are the same things that will change you. These are the same things that will change the world. Yes, I am the devil, but I'm not supposed to see you suffer. God gave me this permission to see you suffer, but he doesn't want me to. They said, resist the devil and he will flee from you. Do I want you to resist me? No. But God loves you too much that he has given you this opportunity to go back there and use the same hands to change the world. So what are you doing with your hands? You keep complaining there is no development. The same development that should be happening. Look for that child in the next neighbor's house who wants to learn more about coding. Mentor him. You see the streets are dirty and complain there is no city development. Go outside there. Clean the city. These are the same hands that were built for change. So what are you doing with your hands? What are you doing to change the future of Africa? I am to take you to the world in a few seconds. But before I do that, I will put my lighter on. Oh, it is not working. So lucky you. You have the chance to go back there without burning. But next time, I will come back for you. But before, what are you doing with your hands? Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that marks the end of our public speaking round. Those were our 6 public speakers. Once again, they had to do an inspirational speech, and their topic was, you will find a helping hand at the end of your arm, right? Yes, yes. All the help you need, the helping hand you need is at the end of your arm. Yes, so that was their topic. So thank you so much for being the best and being a wonderful audience. We will shortly move to debate. So we will just be told which teams have made it for debate, or is that going on?